Yes, Raymond.
Okay, in your personal opinion, do you think somebody like George Floyd should be raised to the level of a martyr? I certainly don't think so.
No, not at all. But that's what they do when they want to gain more money and power. They pretend, yeah.
So they use his death as a sacrificial right.
Absolutely. Just to get money. They don't care about him at all. During this rioting, they killed a cop, a retired cop, a black cop. Two of them.
There's another black cop that got killed, and a white cop.
And I thought Black Lives Matter. But nothing said about this guy, no nothing. It's all a lie. It really is. It's a lie. And I was thinking about these folks and how they're carrying on right now over this lie. And I'm thinking that if all white people left America, let's say that white people decide to move down to Alabama and let them have New York and California, Oregon, all the liberal states or whatever they want to call them. They say, okay, y'all can have it. We sorry, Black Lives Matter. So we're going to pack up just what we have in the house. You can have the house, you can have the banks, all the money that's in the banks, you can have it all. And we're all going to move down somewhere else and let y'all have it. In 1 year, it'll be destroyed. It'll be destroyed, it'll be gone. Because it's not about that. It's about character. And all these lies about is racism, is white supremacism, is, what do they call that? It's in the systematic racism or something. What does that mean? I don't even know. Cheryl, what does that mean? Systematic racism. Anybody know?
I have no idea.
You don't know?
No, and they won't explain it to you because if they did, you'd probably be like, that is so stupid. So they just keep it to themselves.
It has no
what
meaning.
It is. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
And if it's systematic, it sounds like something you can't see. How you know it's systematic? I don't know. You don't know? Oh, what is it?
All right, racism doesn't exist, but if there is systematic racism, it's affirmative action because it puts blacks and like women of color, things like that, over white people.
But what do they mean when they say systematic racism? It's like saying black and brown, black and brown. They say black and brown, it just rolls off the tongue, and black folks don't even like the Mexicans.
Right, like we
don't even like one another, and they try to pull them in with their mess. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing, they don't, I'm not gonna say all of them, but on the whole, they don't like black people. Like, nobody likes black people, and I don't blame.
Black people don't like black people.
Exactly. So
that's why when they get money, they move out of the hood into the white community.
Okay, but when they say systematic racism, from the ones that I've talked to, what it really is they're just saying that they're being held down or not given certain opportunities because of their race, when it's not that. It's just they don't have the skill set. But where is
systematic racism, though? Where is it?
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying the entire system, whatever system it is.
The whole country?
The economic system, the employment system, the school system, they're saying it's all built to suppress them. But that's not true. It's built to actually lift them up without merit. And they're not seeing that part. They're not seeing that because the whole world is coddling them right now. That's systematic racism. The whole world is now creating a system to lift these people up that don't deserve it. Because they don't work. A lot of them don't work. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like they do, because I've known a lot that haven't. And I've been guilty of that myself. Like I was telling a couple of the guys in here the other night, the last job I had, I got it because I'm a black female. My boss was very open about that, but she was a black female too, you know. Oh. And you guys are actually the same age, so.
She's like, don't tell anyone, sister.
Basically, and that's pretty much what she.
Together.
Yeah, no, it was like that. It was one of those. It was a closed door conversation. Did you know that? Yeah, it happens.
If a Mexican is in charge of hiring, and a black person went, or a white person went, and a Mexican went, they're hired a Mexican. I have Mexican friends who are doing that. I'm like, what the? Yes.
So I grew up in the Jim Crow South in Alabama.
You did?
So the systemic racism.
You from Alabama?
Yes, sir.
What part?
Troy.
Troy. I know where Troy.
Went to Troy State.
And
for a
so
while.
did they have Jim Crow when you were
Yeah, in
there?
'65 it ended. So when they're talking about systemic racism, they're talking about when, there was colored only here,
So when
colored
I-
restaurants, colored drinking fountains, white only. They used the word colored back
Right.
in that day. So the Jim Crow laws were systematic. But the problem I'm seeing,
Were you affected by that?
well, I was a little boy, and I remember going to a drinking fountain, and it said colored on it. And my mother, who's from Ohio, my father's from the South, she said, T, they call me T for Terry, you can't drink out of that. I said,
But
well, why not?
You look white.
Yeah, I am, but I went over to the colored because I'm a 5-year-old kid. I don't know.
So you drink out of the black people
So
water
she said,
fountain?
I tried to see if it tastes
A
better.
white boy drinking out of the black water
But
fountain.
my mom said, you can't do that because that's for colors. I go, well, who's colored around here? I didn't know what that meant.
Right.
But that's what so I've seen true racism. I don't see it in this day and age. And they don't really either. Statistically, things are getting better. Things are getting better in the police departments. There's less brutality. But those statistics don't follow their agenda. So what they do is they go back and they say systemic. But no, that's 65 and on. It hasn't been systemic. If
Right.
anything, it's just like the young lady said, it's toward the other side. In other words, giving folks more advantage to go to school and everything else.
So did the black water taste good to you?
It tastes better.
It tastes
But my point is
I grew up
this.
in Alabama as well.
Okay,
and
which part?
I grew up under the Jim Crow laws.
Yes,
But
you've seen real racism.
But
and
I didn't see it though. It wasn't
you
called
still
racism.
didn't? Okay.
And I remember blacks and only water fountain and all that. But it wasn't like a big deal. It was just water. And so my parents and grandparents and my friends, no one really made a big deal out of it. And we knew that there were decent white people, decent black people, and bad black people, bad whites. And that's how we dealt with it. It wasn't, we didn't even call it racism. It wasn't called anything. It's just black and white things. And we knew that the Democratic Party was doing it because they were the one that established the Jim Crow law thing. And but it wasn't systematic racism because my folks were still buying land, they were working, we went to school, we had fun, we went to town when we wanted to, and it wasn't any of what the blacks have been told and the whites have been told. It was nothing like that at all. It wasn't even thought of as racism. That only happened once the civil rights movement started and they started naming things. But if they had left us alone and just made sure the laws that govern whites, govern blacks, we wouldn't be having this issue today.
I call it fake outrage.
Yeah,
it's a
it is.
perfect
It's not
because
even
these
real.
people they don't even know what they're protesting
And they
about.
always talk about slavery and Jim Crow.
This is what I want to bring
and
up
they
too.
don't know anything about it.
This is what I want to bring up too
So
because
I
they're
said, if it's slavery, why did it miss us? Because we came about after slavery, right? And Mark sent me a video that showed blacks doing very well. They own oil wells and they had nice community, they were family. It wasn't what the blacks and whites have been told. It's not true. It's just simply not true. And it's amazing when you believe a lie. It's hard to overcome the lie. But they believed into something that never existed. It just never happened. And it just all made up. There was a Jim Crow, but he was Democrat. And that didn't affect our lives at all. And so it's just all made up. That's what I'm thinking. These people say these things that are not true, and they're fighting over things that are not true. It's like when you're walking down the road and Satan tells you something in your head. You have to cross across the road, and the cars stop and let you by, and you look up and Satan says, "Oh, they're looking at you," and you can hardly make it across the road because you believe a lie. Now you have fear, you doubt yourself. It's like believing a lie like that, and once you believe it, it's hard not to believe it. And that's what's happening now. It's just not true.
and since they don't have the truth and the statistics to back it up, they use white guilt and they throw slavery out there.
I think
And
white people gone beyond guilt.
I'm
They
telling
gone
you,
to insane.
So it has to be
White people
systematic,
crazy.
or they throw the slavery part in. Come on, let's move on, man. Let's move on.
But it's not going to change until the men start speaking up in all communities. Let me take the young lady there, and then I'll move a little faster. But it's not true, folks, what they're saying. It's just not true. It's like being a man and Satan telling you that you're really a woman. So you need to go to the doctor and cut it off and put on a dress. Because the moment you believe that, now you feel like a woman. It's just a lie. It's just not true. It's so amazing. No one's saying that. It's saying that it's not true. Everybody's saying the same thing almost. In reality, it's a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
It's a warfare between good and evil. And as I've said, the world is of the Old Testament. Everything that, if you read the Old Testament, everything that happened in the Old Testament is happening now. But I think they've taken it a little further than what the Old Testament has, because I don't think men were wearing dresses back then. And women were wearing pantsuits. And the role, maybe it was, they didn't write about it.
Yeah.
But they're taking this evil, that's what evil does. If you don't get rid of it in your own personal life, it will destroy you.
And the worst thing is that you see people from my country or people in Madrid fighting this battle of racism there, saying Black Lives Matter, and making America look so weak. America is being looked so weak right now, you have no idea.
Amazing.
Everybody is talking about it, everybody's hating. It's like, oh, Americans are this and that. And I'm like, well, look at who is racist now, if that's what you think a racist is.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about Americans and white Americans like they are this or that and insulting them when you don't even know. Like, you just know what the textbook says. You didn't even live it, you know? So it's just emotions.
It's just so amazing, right here with the black shirt. It's so amazing to see, okay, let me get you here first. It's so amazing to see this and knowing that it's all lies. People burning and stealing and killing and robbing and hating one another over lies. And even if it was true, let's say it was true, it's still no reason to be hating and blaming other people who had nothing to do with it. And to hate like this it's just evil, really. It's really just a warfare between good and evil. That's why we have to overcome it. Because the only way you're going to get people to see the real truth, they must be born again. Otherwise, they can't see it. They literally cannot see it. They got to be born again. That's how you change their hearts, is when they're born again of God. That's the only thing that's going to change it. And the Bible said a lot of people are going to go by the wayside. Only a few will find that straight and narrow path. That's why I say suffer and die. If you don't want to overcome, it's up to you. God made the way. He sent his son. The way has been made already. All you have to do is look at yourself and overcome it. Admit you're wrong for hating. Stop playing God, and your life will change just like that. It really will. And that's all it's about. It's not about anything else with that. It's a spiritual battle. Even though it's working through the physical body, it looks like it's the person, but it's not the person. It's that thing that made a home in them.
Hi, Jesse. Yeah, so I just wanted to comment that's in fashion right now, to go online and shame your family. It's a thing. It's
shame your family?
Yeah, call them racist, like call them out, like shame them publicly. That's very in fashion right now.
Well, family members don't like each other anyway.
Yeah, or whoever. It's like you gotta rat them out. You gotta take out. And then my question to you is that this is my second time being here.
Oh, right on.
Like, I'll just ask, like, I've noticed that there's not a lot of black people here. Like, do you ever get bothered that, is it, because I know that you're trying to wake up black people, but it seems like it's more like lights, like Hispanics and whites.
I'm trying to point the person who's looking for the right way.
Okay.
And I literally don't care how many blacks and whites, Hispanics or any that come, because those that don't want it, they have to suffer. And so it doesn't bother me at all. Not when I hear, it doesn't matter what color, male or female, when they talk about waking up and they now sons and daughters of God, it's amazing to me. And so I don't really think about that at all. Not when plus I'm an Uncle Tom. I don't expect many to come. Uncle Tom's no better.
But doesn't it make you feel sad though that this message that is supposed to be going out to black people, that they're not really getting it? Like,
no, not really.
Not really?
I don't feel sad at all.
No? All right.
Maybe I should, but because it's for anyone who wants it.
Okay, so
And
you don't
it's
care
the
about
spirit
color.
of the person, not the color of the person.
Yeah.
And I can see that clearly. So the ones who are listening, those who are coming, those who call in, those are the ones that are seeking the truth. And once they wake up, I see my brother, I see my sister. So I'm not moved. There are a lot of family members. I have a big family. Matter of fact, I had 5 brothers and 7 sisters, I think. But 3 of my brothers expired. So I got a call from one of my other brothers that's still living, and he said, "Oh, call me." So I called him up, and he said, "I don't agree with anything else, nothing else you say, but I agree about what's happening now with you. When you say these people are insane, it doesn't make sense, this is evil." He agreed with that. So I have family members that don't agree with me. When I go to family dinners, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like going to a riot. They don't like me, but I'm like, that's why I asked you, did you enjoy it? When I say one word, they're having a hissy fit. And so I just sit back like I'm looking at a movie. And I'm like, yeah, this is nice. Because I don't feel anything about it, and they all just jump on me, right? But I understand they cannot see. I was at that position at one time in life, so it's not personal. And so as far as the blacks, I mean, it's good when they wake up. If they don't, I can't do anything about it. It's systematic racism.
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to help your own family members.
Right.
Remember, Christ had to leave home because his family, the neighborhood and community didn't like him.
Because I'm trying to save Hispanics too, you know, like trying to wake them up because they're trying to emulate black people now, like
Yeah.
with the victimization.
Yeah.
And we don't come with our culture. It's not like that at
Right.
all. You know, so that's what that's what my question was
But
to you.
you're not going to be any good to them if you feel for them.
Right.
You cannot feel for anyone. You just wish them well, don't hate them, be honest with them, but you cannot feel, well, you're going to overcome all that emotional crap anyway. But if you're feeling something about it, you're not going to be totally honest with them with love.
Okay.
And that's the only thing that's going to work.
Okay.
Right? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've noticed 2 ways people talk about racism. Either they say that it doesn't exist, or they say it exists and it's bad.
Yeah.
But I think it exists, and I think I'm fine with it. I'm
This your first
Vietnamese.
time here?
Second time here.
Okay. And you believe racism exists?
I think it exists, and I think it's good. I'm Vietnamese, and I want my kid to look like me. And
You say you what now?
I'm Vietnamese, and I want my kid to look like me.
But that's not racism.
Isn't racism when you treat someone differently based on their race?
I'm sorry? So you're Vietnamese and you want your kids to be that too, right? To look
Yes.
like you. Is that right?
Yes.
And you call that racism?
Other people call it racism.
But do you believe that's racism?
I think it's racism because if I see 2 girls, I'm gonna prefer the Vietnamese girl more. So I'm gonna treat one
How is
person
that
better
racism?
based on race.
How is that racism? I mean, you were born in that family. Your parents are that way. You're going to emulate your parents unless you hate them and try to get away from them.
Maybe
But
it's
that's
not
not
racism.
racism.
I thought racism was just when you treated someone differently based on the race. That's not the definition.
No. It doesn't exist. It's a made-up word. Because it's good versus evil, evil people treat everybody the same. They're evil. They have no love. People who've been born again are going to treat you with love. It's a battle between good and evil. It has nothing to do with the physical. Racism is a made-up word in order to control the people, to divide and conquer. It doesn't exist. And we all discriminate against each other.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
true.
better discriminate because you have to discriminate against evil. Once you overcome that, you don't want to be a part of that anymore. You know what I mean?
I still think racism is real, but I
Well,
just think
where
about
is
it as a different way. Just when I prefer some races over others.
Like
Or
what?
I
Like
guess
who?
it's not a race. If I say Vietnamese, that's not even a race, is it? It's just a group of people.
I call them
Vietnamese race?
I call them racist. Asians are racist as hell.
He must be a
Okay,
millennial.
have you guys been to Hawaii? Hawaii is like majority Asian, and there's a people called Micronesians. They're on the bottom of that hierarchy, and they get treated like the blacks here. And it's not racism; it's just a hierarchy.
But what it is evil. Evil people
evil.
got to build themselves up so they can feel good about being evil. So you got to make yourself feel that you're better than the next person. But it's not racism, it's evil. If they had perfect love, they would not treat each other that way.
Yes, it's a fake word.
Yeah, it's a fake word.
And one of the best examples I can think of was Freddie Gray. You guys remember Freddie Gray? Baltimore.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
killed by black police in a black district with a black mayor. And
But-
they came up
yeah.
with the word to explain it because racism no longer applied. He was killed by other blacks.
So what now?
He died in the back of a police van.
Oh yeah, I
He
remember
snapped
that.
his neck. Baltimore.
The drug addict guy, right?
Freddie.
Wasn't he a
no,
drug
Freddie
addict?
Gray.
A drug dealer. No, it's not about race.
Yeah, so it's a made-up
But
word.
that the family members turning on each other. Is that racism? They hate this young man because he's of truth now. He's of God. He's a son of God. So the children of Satan hate him. And they're going online and lying on him. That's not racism. It's evil. I'm telling you, it's evil. Once you're born again, you're going to see it's evil. It has nothing to do with racism. And you're not wrong for wanting a Vietnamese.
Say it again.
Do you just prefer them physically, or is
No, it's all right though. It's not, and nothing wrong with that.
there's nothing wrong?
Okay, so he calls me a race hater because
Oh.
I don't date other Vietnamese women. So
You hate your own race. He's trying to get away from his race because he hated his mother. He used to. And then he ended up marrying mama.
ooh, ouch.
The same spirit is everywhere. But it doesn't exist, man. It's a made-up word. And you're not wrong for wanting to marry into your race. All right?
I get it.
Give it to the young lady right in front of you. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to move away from that topic, but when I go to work, a lot of the females there have this whole mentality of Black Lives Matter. And I personally don't think that that's like a professional, or we should be talking about that at work because I'm in the healthcare industry. And so it's like when
you're
I'm at
right.
work, I don't want to hear about that. And all they do is just show videos and just talk about it. And it's very distracting. And I don't comment about it. And the times that I have said something, and just to give them examples of like both sides or the other side, you know, they have their mind made up. And so it just seems like there's no point.
That's right.
And so I don't think it's wise for me to even like push it. And
Especially
so-
at work because you're there to make money. You made a promise to the boss. You work 8 hours for however many dollars. You're not there for politics.
Yeah, so I definitely feel like, but then when I'm at home, sometimes I feel guilty in the sense that, you know, am I doing enough as far as like speaking up, or because right now I feel like I'm just trying to keep my eyes on myself because I understand that, like, you know, when you can't see, it's hard to. When you can't see, it's, you know, you're blind. So I've been in those situations, and so who am I to go and try to change someone else's mind? So I don't know. I kind of feel guilty in between, just like not maybe speaking out enough, or I mean, what do you think?
Do you mean speaking out at work or outside of work?
Both.
If someone asks you at work, what do you think? You can warn them first. You're not going to want to hear this. And then if they ask you, you can be honest with them, but I wouldn't go to work preaching about it and all into it. And you're not wrong for not doing that. That's not why you're there. But if you're out and about and if you want to talk about it, you should be able to. You should do it because they need to hear the truth. Because somebody may hear and reject it at first, but down the road they may think about what you said. They're like, oh, that makes sense. And so you should speak up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to. Like I
You don't want to speak up at all, even
like it's-
outside of work?
Like sometimes because it just sounds so ridiculous that it, like, I know I'm going to waste my time. And so it's like, maybe it's just Satan talking to me in my head.
Yeah, if it's coming out of your head, then don't believe it. You speak up. But if it's not, if you tell somebody something and they don't want to hear it, I have a cousin that we used to bring on the show a lot, and he is just the craziest they come. he believed everything that's wrong, and he's a Christian.
Yeah.
So I don't even argue with him anymore. As soon as he called me up, we were talking, I'm like, all right, fine, nice. And I wouldn't argue with him, but it's nice to put it out there and let them decide if they want to receive it or not.
Okay.
And so if Satan tells you not to do it, don't pay attention to that.
Okay.
All right? Okay. But we got to start speaking up. We have to.
There's a break in the city.